Today I'm going to be breaking down the interview of John Ramirez on the Vlad Hungry Gen channel. John is a high-ranking ex-warlock. He exposes the demonic realm, and I want to show you how the jailers treat their prisoners. They live in our shadows. You can feel their presence, but most likely you don't see them, unless you look very closely at the edges of your peripheral vision. They vibrate very low, and they love it when you vibrate low too. They will use their powers of good and evil against you to keep you limited. Yes, good and evil. They're playing both sides of the coin. Let me show you the bigger picture as I break down John Ramirez's whole confession story, basically to a few key moments where you will know from here on out our Archon influences, how they influence you through what you see and hear. They will show you hell, and they will show you their version of heaven. But it's still all a lie, because they cannot show you what is unseen, because they have no idea how our home, the Pleroma, actually is, because they can't even get close to it. They can't even see it. They can't even feel it. John even states, demons will study you, but at all same token, the demons and the angels that study you, they will keep you trapped inside this false matrix. When you operate at a low vibration, you are under their control. The only way to become invisible to them is to elevate your vibration high enough. Then you can step out of the matrix. The threshold that you need to reach is over 800,000 hertz. I'm going to break this down to you, the whole interview, so you can understand it in the agnostic point of view, and how Archons want you to think there's a devil, and that there's demons, and that there's a God, and that there's a holy war. In reality, they're all Archons dressed as demons and dressed as angels, showing you visuals and doing good and bad things, because you can pick and change your direction and path in life. You can do good things or bad things. That's up to you and how you want to live your journey. But they want to make it seem much different than it really is. So let's jump to port where 3124 and discuss where John is going to divinate and getting an energy read.
The true ceremony. Well, how much is that? Well, $8,000. You're like, oh, that's $8,000. He said, but you got to do it in 30 days. Because if you don't do it in 30 days, I tell you, your life will be destroyed. Now you're believing because you believe these two. So then you say, oh, let me think about it. I get back to you next week. So what they do is, when you leave, the demon that's telling them all these things go home with you. He start performing these things.
Start doing those things.
They start doing these things. So you start getting the vibe of the storm. So now you feel, maybe I won't do it. And then it start destroying, all these things start happening in your house because they got legal rights now. You open the door, you sat down in a place you weren't supposed to sit down. So all these things are happening. You run back to the witch, you give her the $8,000, she call back the demon, your life is normal for a season.
Now in this energy read, energy is a divine tool. It can be used for good or bad. It is also, so everything is of God. Whether you do it for bad or good, it's up to you. There's cons in everything. Again, they're both good and bad. They will follow you and they will torment you because they feed off of your pain. Let's go to 3334.
He said, by the way, she's Christian. I said, well, I do it for free.
Wow.
I said, because I hate these Christians. I hate them so much that I'm going to teach them a lesson. I bought a coffin. I bought 21 candles, black candles. She gave me her name. She gave me her personality. I put everything together. I'm not going to describe how I put it together. And that witchcraft was so powerful, I should have killed her in 2 weeks. Didn't happen. 3 weeks went by. A month went by. And she said, she's not dead yet. I said, she'll be.
A lady with her husband having an affair at work. This is the first encounter that John has with the pneumatic soul. That is her life's purpose that she's living in, and the Most High will prevent any harm coming to her. As long as you're in your life's purpose, this is not a Christian thing, this is a spiritual thing that's connected to the Most High. The Archons want you to think it's a Christian God that's protecting you, but that is not true. That is not the true God. Let's look at 34:29.
So one day, Pastor, I was sitting in my home watching TV, and the devil comes in. I can feel his presence coming, and he stands right next to me. I know he's there because I can feel it. That's the kind of connection I have with the devil. And he said, I got to talk to you. I said, about what? He said, we have to leave that woman alone. I said, you mean what woman? Leave her alone. He said, the one we put the witchcraft to, that she should have been dead a long time ago, and she's not. I said, what do you mean? Why you don't kill already? My reputation's on the line. I'm going to look like a weak person, and people are going to laugh and think I don't know witchcraft. She said, how God said to leave her alone.
John says he felt the devil come in, but this is an Archon telling him that her God, which is the Most High, to leave the pneumatic alone. But the Archons do not want you to know about the Most High. They want you to think that this is the Christian God, because they're playing that side of the coin as well. Even more power to you if you knew the truth, but they don't want you to know that.
Let me give you an example. As a young Christian, I was upset with God because I said to the Lord, I said to the Lord, because of my naive and my ignorance, I didn't know. I said, why you brought me to Christianity? I said, I did the same thing they did when I was in the demonic world. I did it better than they did. They lay hands, we still lay hands. They speak in that funny language. We spoke the same thing in tongues. We spoke in demonic tongues. They what you call it? They lay hands.
Spoke in tongues.
Spoke in tongues, and they fell in the spirit. We fell in the demonic. So they fell backwards. We fell backwards. So I said, there's no difference. I said, matter of fact, we had church longer than they did. They had 2-hour church, and when pastor said amen, looking at the watch, they wanted to run out. We had, and then I said, we had church that we had plastic white chairs. And then after 10, 15 minutes that we did prayer, we did demonic prayers, they do prayers. We did demonic prayers. To every demonic demon, we did prayers. And then we had to take the white chairs and stack them up like over here, like you have there. And then we stay up on our feet all night.
John states that there is no difference between what they did with the demonic Archons and what the angelic Archons are doing to you. The main reason for this is because you're giving your divine power away to the demiurge. Through the demons or the angels, it doesn't matter. Either way, you're giving up your divine power. Let's go to 49.
They usually do altar call at the end of the service. Yeah. So I say, I'm going to go up there. And the devil's not going to go up there because she's scared. So I went up. They had about, 10, 11 people lined up. So I lined up last, second to last. Because I was like, am I going to get saved? I don't want to be saved anyway. But I go up there because the devil will leave. When I got up there, Pastor Vlad, the devil entered me. I grabbed the pastor by the throat. And I said all kind of profanity. And I picked him up in the air. He was turning purple. Purple. This guy weighed 230 pounds. One hand in the air, purple. People ran out of their seats, tried to grab my hand off his throat, and then he fell. And they took my hand off. And I realized that church had no power. Why would they?
John is in the church being possessed by an Archon. Now, this is possible because once you allow the Archon in, you vibrate very low enough, the Archon can always go inside you. You want to be a spiritualist in your power, just like Yeshua, just like the Perfecti, because now we are fully protected. This is the end of the game. The only way they can kill us is to hurt us enough to where you want to self-delete. So make sure you raise your vibration high enough so you're outside their field. That is your best protection. Then you can operate behind the walls of the matrix. Let me go into detail about what happens outside your visual perception. In order to get Michelle Obama back on track to be backing her husband's presidential campaign in 2008, because she was worried about being found out as being Michael, they organized protests in California over the same-sex marriages, even though the citizens of California voted on the bill, which is the majority and which is basically how each state acts based on the majority. But they voted on the bill. They always want to make two sides fight each other. That's the key sign. Two sides fighting each other. And they love it when they cause each other harm and pain. They will help influence any amount of pain that happens to you. Now, the entire fight with the pronoun situation is 100% attributed to Michelle being worried that the world would find out that she is really Michael. They created all the chaos in the world just for Michael to feel comfortable. Now, when Hillary Clinton was getting her private email server hacked from Russia, China, and Germany in 2009 and 2014, Hillary put a plan in place to provoke Russia to go to war and destroy Putin once and for all for destroying her political rule. So they hired a Ukrainian actor and comedian that was working on a film in New York City to be on a TV show for 3 seasons, and they called it Servant of the People. This show was about a school teacher fed up with the political corruption and ran for president and won it in his country, and then defended his presidency and the country against a Russian invasion. That TV show first aired in 2015, paid for by the United States government to prepare this comedian actor for his role as president of the Ukraine. The actor himself is Zelensky himself. That is why when Biden got into office, he did his best to provoke a war through Zelensky by having Zelensky provoke Putin constantly. And that's when they just tried to get Putin to react to Biden, secretly using the United States military to blow up the gas pipeline going to all of Europe in the wintertime to add an extra level of pain towards Germany for also being part of the hack. Because of this email server hack, that was all done. Now, Nancy Pelosi has been in the United States Representative of California since 1987. Now, who has just announced that she's not going to seek re-election in 2026 because she's turning her crown over to her daughter, Christine Pelosi, who's running for her position as Queen of California. Luckily for Christine, her cousin Galvin Newsom will try to make his royal position as king of the country when his aunt Nancy Pelosi steps down. This is a battle of the royal bloodline for the country. And wow, it's crazy how they got everybody looking towards the other side when they're constantly pointing fingers at someone else. Now, this is all going behind the scenes. They are there to try to destroy your ability to freely think. And that's what they want to go after, like Mr. Jordan Peterson, so violently. And that's why when you think freely and you're connected to the Most High and your higher consciousness, that's why they want to kill you. Now, sadly, Charlie Kirk was not elevated high enough, and he was a victim of being able to speak out using basically his consciousness, but he didn't have his God's protection. I'm sorry, Charlie. Now, Jordan Peterson, you definitely need to look into this. They want to have a free, open debate, but they are constantly wrong. Just like the Catholic Church was during the Holy Crusades against the Cathars in the south of France. Because of the Cathar Perfecti, they would have open debates against the Catholic priests about Christ and the debating the Bible openly. Now, the Perfecti always prevailed against the priests until the Catholic Church sent a military crusade to wipe out all of the Cathars in 1209 AD. Now, this was impressive because even though there was Catholics alongside of the Perfectis and in the Cathar region, the Cathars were crucified just alongside the Catholic people because the military that they sent in there just wiped them all out. They said, let God find his own. That's how they think. Because Archons only care about pushing and motivating two sides into battling against each other. They don't care who. They just want you to run out of time so you don't have a chance to ascend out of this earthly realm before you die. They want you to die of food, cancer, stressing, overgiving to everyone else other than yourself. So the best way to show God you love him is to put love inside you. And Jordan Peterson, I hope you liked this video as well. Take care, everyone. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Get the word out. Let me know. Take care.